Hey all, Matt Hepworth here, and welcome to another week of Apollo Quick Tips. This is episode 3, and today we're going to look at using the UAD Fender Tweed 55 in stereo instead of mono like normal. So we're going to put in the Tweed here, and there it is. We're going to dial in a little bit of a preset. I'm just going to play some part here from my looper. Okay, so that's pretty good right there. Got something decent, and you've probably noticed before that these pan controls do nothing because you just can't do stereo when you're in the Unison slot, except that there's a trick so you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this power switch to off, but it's actually going to keep the Unison capability still active. And while the Unison's active, your speaker selection and your volume and your tone actually will not affect the sound, as I'll show you. So it doesn't matter what we do to that, nothing is going to change anything, but what we are getting is we're getting the impedance change that adds a little bit of sweetness to the overall sound. So it's matching that carefully designed impedance on that Fender amp by means of the Unison hardware impedance interaction. And we'll quickly compare with and without that Unison impedance sweetness when we load up the next set. Now it's very important here that we mute our channel 1 input, which is the DI, and come over here and make sure we're assigned to post for our aux send. And we want to make sure that we have the level we want on our aux to send here. And we're going to come over here, unmute the aux. So now I'm going to come over to the aux, and I'm going to use aux 2 because I'm using aux 1 for my voiceover. And we're going to go guitar. We're going to pull that Fender in here. And it's important that we do not put this on line. We want it in normal mode. And let's load that same preset. The difference this time is we do have some pan control. And our input is going to affect things. So let's check this out. That's a pretty good tone right there. We've got something that's pretty worthwhile. And now that we've got this cool stereo image happening a little bit with that, let's go ahead and add a little reverb. My personal favorite for this kind of thing is the EMT 140. And we don't need something nearly that long, but let's just kind of hear what we've got here. So let's turn off that solo and pull down, get a little better balance. Bypass. Bring it back. Yeah, that's a great sound. We've got something that's really working here. So now that we've got this sound all kind of dialed in, let's just do a quick comparison with and without the Unison feature here. So that Unison, because of that impedance change, it changes the tone and just adds kind of a sweetness to the overall sound that is really cool and more closely matches that original Fender amp. So now let's switch over to Pro Tools and see how we need to set this up. So here in Pro Tools, we're going to create 3 tracks. We're going to do one mono, and that's for our DI. And of course, that DI is going to keep the Unison plugin because Unison always prints, but really we're only printing the interaction because it's a clean sound on its own. And then we need stereo for our stereo sound. If you're enjoying this video, please take a second and click that like button. We're just going to label these. ST for stereo. And assign the inputs. Input 1. aux 2, which is the input that we assigned that Fender Deluxe to. So now let's check it out. Our level's just a little hot, so we're just going to nudge it down here a little bit on the amp. That looks great. All right, let's go ahead and give this a run. Great. There it is. All clean and ready to go. Cut off that little end we don't need. And the last thing we need to do is we're going to switch over to the console view. And we need to set an offset of minus 73 samples. This is optional. But because the auxes incur a 73 sample delay, this will just make sure that everything's exactly in line in case we want to reamp or blend or something like that. Like I say, totally optional. Nothing super important because we're talking about 2/1000ths of 1 second, 2 milliseconds, which is really nothing in the grand scheme of things when we're talking about playback. So let's just go back to the beginning, hear that really quick. There we go. Sounds great. So I hope you guys will put that tip to use and give it a try in your own productions. Please leave me a comment if you already do something like this, or if this is something that you can think of other uses for. Thank you so much for watching. Matt Hepworth, see you next time.